Okay, calling this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. First order of business is to approve the minutes from July 23rd, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Before you do,
Yes,
there's a correction.
First.
we do that after we,
Okay.
there's a discussion. It comes after the second.
Okay.
You have a second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any discussion, Mert?
Yeah, to cut out some confusion because it's.
Fuel. The minutes, comments, questions regarding the minutes? Okay, we have a motion to approve, all in favor? Oh, we have to go around the room, Steve,
Aye.
Dareth,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Lauren, aye,
Aye.
and Bill, aye. Okay, it's unanimous, the minutes are approved. Second item on here, and I just put this on, to remind people that we currently have two people that have, resigned from the committee. One was David Sessions some time ago, and we did not put that in prior minutes, so I just want to make sure that that's in there. It's not you, Carrie, it's moi. I did not make it clear. So, and also, Jay Zlakowski has decided not to continue on the committee. So we do have one vacancy. And if anyone on the committee would like to discuss adding another person to the committee, I put this on the agenda so we can have that discussion. I think at this point, my own point of view is at this point in our process and our progress, I'm not sure that adding a new member that doesn't have the 4 years history that this committee does makes much sense, but please speak up if you disagree with that.
No, I agree with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll leave it at the membership as it is, okay. Number 4 is brief update on the municipal building project. First is Pete Anderson.
So we're making slow progress on the punch list at the health center. Some of the painting has been done. There's still a little bit left to do. There's doors that need some work, both on the punch list and additional requested items to make the rooms more soundproof. Some sound transmission.
And that the sound, you can hear voices that just that it's such a small space, I don't think you can hear
Under
voices
the doors.
underneath.
Yeah, and we're gonna put a gasket around to seal the doors to the frame and put a drop down seal at the bottom. So the door contractor didn't want to make multiple trips to fix everything, so I believe the parts are coming in later this week, and hopefully he'll be out here next week to finish up the door issues. There's still some issue with the flooring that we've got to figure out. Doesn't seem to be sticking everywhere. There's places where it's bumped up a little bit, but some places it's lifted off in the floor. And so we're gonna have to, there may come a time when we have to make a hard decision about that. But other than that, you know, the providers have requests that are really beyond the scope of the contract that we may have to address also. They don't like the size of the sink in the critical care room. It should have been bigger, and but that was negotiated between them and Midmark, so that's not really in the Ledgewood part of things, so. But other than that, things are slowly getting to a usable condition for them. That's about it.
Yeah, Midmark, do we have recourse with Midmark if there was if in fact they made a mistake in the size of the sink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So even though it's not under Ledgewood,
Right,
we still have
right,
recourse.
right.
How much time do you have to spend, Pete, going over these things? You check.
Oh. Yeah. 4 or 5 hours a week.
That much.
Yeah.
You're down here that much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that everybody who's appreciated the new health center, the general public understand that we have an owner representative, and that's Pete Anderson. And that's an unpaid position, and it's been a part of what Pete's been doing for the last 2 years
Yeah.
about. And it's been very time consuming. When he says 4 or 5 hours, that's now after it's built. The number of hours prior to that would probably.
Yeah.
Really a lot. All right, Steve, we're on to you. Oh, wait, before we go, any other questions for Pete Anderson? Okay, Steve, you wanna start?
Okay, Carrie, do you want to just bring it up and I'll talk off of it?
Yeah.
And now that I know that Pete will do, kind of the update on the health center, I will not include that moving forward. That's a little kind of funky. Is that coming across? Wait, let me.
We can see it.
You can see it?
It's good, Steve.
All right, to me, I'm only seeing part of it. Okay, so hold right there and I'll figure this out. All right. So did it start? Okay, so you moved past the health center one. Good. Wait, did you only move past the health center? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. There you go. All right, so the other two components of the committee's responsibility was the renovations. So I've been in there last week and I was in there on Monday. And I've got a couple pictures coming up, but you'll see the progress is going on. They have the wood there for closing off the window for the evidence room, painting, but go to the next slide or the next page, please. But I mean, it's pretty, I've been in there last week and they were sanding and patching and they're still sanding and patching. So it's a very, they're doing what it looks like a really great job because, the finished product all depends on the amount of prep work, and they seem to be doing a really just an excellent job in there. So I'm pleased with that. So I didn't get a time frame on when they think they're going to have that part completed. I'm assuming they will hold off doing any painting until they come in and replace the window in there, so all the dust is done. But it seems to be moving along well, so that's a good thing. And I'm sure Carrie and Fred and Martin, the others are looking forward to getting in there. So that's what I know on that. Any questions or points anyone else wants to make on that?
How are we tracking this budget? Have they been submitting any bills yet? No.
I haven't seen any bills yet, but since I came in a little later on this, I don't know who I should be checking. Is that Janet? I should check with you kind of bi-weekly?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So I'll do that. Bill, I had not followed up on that, so I will from now on.
Great, thank you. And then the Up Island Public Safety Garage.
Dun, da, da, da. Okay. So I'm sorry, this actually was I revised this, but since we didn't seem to get it, we received the contract on Monday. So So we are ahead on this. And I sent that off to a few people to look at it. And Janet's there's some input and then we obviously want to get it to our attorney, which is the critical aspect of it. And we can certainly, if I missed anyone on the committee, I'm still learning who all is on the committee. I will send it also to you all to get input real quick, because what we want to do is get it off, have any changes made, and then review that again, and then move that to signature. So I had a call with Rod last Friday to kind of boost his speed. But he's been very responsive to me. He's been good with that. We have a number of items that are changing, like Mert mentioned. The desire to move from a propane to a diesel generator. There's also the septic tank and water. So anyway, what I really have been firm on, and I hope, and I'm looking for input if anybody wants me to take a different direction, is I have absolutely locked everything down to getting the contract signed. And then the idea was, then we can begin to put all these other requirements as well as requests into a priority list, and then look at the cost of those, and then if we, depending on the budget, put them in as change orders. So does anybody want to talk about that approach? Because it really is, that was how I was addressing, getting this done. But if the committee feels they want to open it up a little more or something, let me know.
I think, in terms of the contract, I think that if I remember right from not this last meeting, but the prior meeting, the municipal building committee, this committee, did request that the maximum amount be 430 or 432. But that was then to go to the select board. So I want to check with everybody in this committee, but I don't believe this committee needs to look at the contract. I think that's the select board and the attorney that would approve the contract itself, the language of the contract, Steve.
Okay.
So let me
Thanks.
just check and see if anybody on the committee has a different opinion about that. So yeah, you're free to go forward with the select board and the attorney in the reverse order, attorney and then the select board in terms of the contract. In terms of the what goes in the contract and what might be
Change
changed
orders
after the
or the
contract.
approach.
Yeah, I think your approach is just fine. The only thing that you and I and Pete and Mark discussed was that it may make more sense for some of those items to be separate, handled by the town. So in other words, not a change order to the contract with Northport, but for instance, the town itself could put in a well.
Yes.
Instead of doing it through Northport Construction. So there's some things that can be discussed and with you and with Pete Anderson and Mark, but also with this committee, if you have any questions or concerns with that. You want to talk about that a little bit, or? It makes a lot of sense that we don't get it tangled up with a contract, keep doing change orders for things that the town can is fully equipped to contract for and get done. So you want to add anything to that?
That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
How does that sound to you, Janet?
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, we did it with the health center. We did the well
Yeah.
on our own prior to anything happening and.
Yeah. Okay, so that,
Well, let
What
me just say, I'm sorry. I just want to, so for the minutes, the amount that was approved by the select board was 430. So I want to make sure it wasn't, I just want to make sure that number is, 430 or, not to exceed 430 was the wording.
Thank you, thank you.
And that's, the only other information not on here is, I confirm with Northport that we need a signed contract, and then we need to execute a $75,000 check to be able for him to begin, lining up his subs. And I think the long tent pole is right now is the ground prep time, because he said one of his subs is busy, but we'll figure that out anyway. So I'm hoping to move to contract. It'd be great within 2 weeks. We'll see. It never seems to go as fast as we'd like, but anyway, that's all I have.
Steve, it looks like the timing is right. If we can get a response from the attorney by next week, that the select board could look at the contract at the next meeting next week. Is that conceivable? I'm looking at Janet, Steve.
Can I?
Yes,
Is
please.
Steve talking? It all depends how busy she is.
Okay.
It's gonna be close to Labor Day. But Steve, I was going to ask you, what are we actually sending to her of this 4-page document? I've made numerous editing on
Yeah,
it. I
I
know
Go
Mark
ahead.
Poole has made some additions, and I don't have it in Word. He sent it as a PDF. But Mark Roulette was able to do a Word edit it with Adobe Acrobat.
Okay,
So if you could get a Word document, is he gonna be offended if we're altering this document?
No, I can convert it to a Word document and send it to you.
Cause I think what we should, or if you wanna send it to me, I will convert it with Mark's corrections, and then I think I'd rather it go to Kristen somewhat corrected. I mean, she's not gonna be looking for typos and things, she's looking for other things. But,
yeah, great.
I'd like to save her time, so if you sent that to me tonight, and I could do it up tomorrow and
Okay,
get it to her.
all right, I'll do that. I'll pull that here shortly.
Thank you so much, Steve. We're finally really getting there. I can't, I'll be quiet. I won't go dancing and jumping on the table yet, but we are moving forward, and that's great. It's been long overdue. And Mertz, he's not ready to smile yet, but he's in the room, so we haven't lost him entirely.
Close, Mark, close.
Yeah.
He's not jumping on the table, is he? Okay.
Any other questions or comments about either the health center or the Up Island Public Safety Garage or the renovation? Anything else you want to add, Mert?
There's a small concern I have currently. And I've kind of figured it out on my own. And I think what's going on, if not everybody is aware of it. Town purchased the steel building a while back. All that's good and fine. I believe it was purchased through Northport Builders.
Federal Steel, but through North.
Right. And I think what Northport Builders negotiated with Vikings is that as this steel building comes in, they drop it on the ground or offload on a big wheeler truck, tractor trailer truck, and store it temporarily. And then Viking has an issue in their yard of it's in the way. And then all of a sudden, short notice, they load it up and they say, send it to Owlsboro and get rid of it. And what they've done, at least one trip, the driver called me, I'm bringing over some steel. I didn't know what size, I didn't know if he needed a hand. I was offer him to give him a hand, but I didn't know if he needed a forklift. I was waiting for him to call me, I advised Pete, that it was happening. And the next thing I know, the driver come by my house, all unloaded. I said, gee, I would have come up and give you a hand. We don't know if these drivers unloading this alone, how much stuff's gonna get bent up. He did say some of it was bent prior to them getting it, and I think you got a little corner bent on unloaded alone. So there's gonna be a problem if there's gonna be more stuff come. I don't think it's Northport contractor is responsible for getting it over because the town bought the building. So it's in limbo, who's responsible for this building for the care of delivery? And if this is the practice Viking's gonna do, we're gonna have probably bent up steel, which we don't want. So I don't know who's supposed to be overseeing that. And if somebody needs to coordinate something better, but we don't have a signed contract with Northport Builders yet. So we can't look to him. So I'm just making you aware of what I observed and have made some earlier deliveries. And I don't know how well that got unloaded, but it's up there now. And anybody's guess if it's gonna be in the way and have to be moved again.
Northport. So
I
it
don't
must have
know.
been,
All I'm guessing is
Northport that
that
hired Viking.
Northport Builders needed a spot for drop it, didn't want it in his yard. But we didn't have the space, so I think that was the logic place for a tractor trailer truck to come and they got a forklift to take it off. This is all my assumption. I don't know if there's more stuff to come.
It sounds like we need to do a little investigation into this, but
Somebody needs to.
yeah, thank you for bringing it to our attention. How long ago did Viking
That
deliver?
last delivery, all of a week, my memory's weak, but it's all of a week, 10 days. But it was short notice, bringing something over. I said,
And,
yeah,
and why did they call you?
cause I'm easy to call,
Because Viking knows you.
they know me.
Yeah,
So I'll let somebody know, he's fire chief, he'll know them, he can tell somebody.
thank you for playing a middleman.
But I kind of gathered up the story a little bit. And when the driver didn't call me when he was gonna be ready to drop it off, I had no way to visualize it before it got off the truck, so. He did mention that something snagged up because he did try to do something alone, so. And all it needs is a little bit of notification, because we can get the skid steer from the transfer station to come over with the forks. And help take it off. I did that with another delivery using skid steer. So they need a little bit more notice than just, a few hours notice.
So, yeah, I'll follow up with Pete and Steve about, getting a little more clarity between Northport and Viking and make sure that we're all understanding what's going on and and they shouldn't, thank God you were there and willing to play a role. But, Northport should have contacted Steve or Mark or Pete or me so that we could get in the mix and know what was going on.
I would assume something like that,
Yeah,
Steve has.
so let you be aware.
I'm sorry, yes, Steve.
Yeah, we had talked about this at least 2 meetings ago in the select board. Because we had heard that it was brought off, and the question was back then, did they deliver everything? And the follow-up, and I'll have to find out from Shay who did the follow-up, and Janet, maybe you remember better than I, that everything, quote, was delivered. So perhaps, Mert, it is all there and there won't be another delivery, but your point is good. But I do think we need to ensure that, we have everything that was meant to be delivered. So I'll check, see what Shay remembers from that.
Yeah, and Steve, if you could play a role in making sure that Pete Anderson, Mark and I know what's going on, because I wasn't aware of the discussion at the select board. And just closing the loop on this so that everybody that needs to know knows. Maybe Pete does, but it's just it's just, close the loop on that a little bit.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Mert. Okay, yeah, but
The
then,
timing question, as I remember in the newspaper, uh. The idea is to have the building closed in by the very cold weather and then the finishing work done during the course of the winter and look, aiming for spring opening. Is
that's
that-
still the
that's
plan,
that's
right,
still-
Steve?
Good.
that's the plan from yes, I haven't heard anything different.
Great.
Critical that they get the darn cement poured, obviously, prior, before, I mean, when I joined the select board, they were talking about getting this done before the snow flew last year.
Yeah,
We're kind of coming up against that again, so I'll
yeah,
check.
it's been a journey. Janet?
Can I ask a question? Do we know if all the steel building has been delivered? It doesn't look like much to me, that first big delivery. You know,
Yeah, that's Mertz, so,
not the Viking, I've seen that too, that's a smaller pile of stuff, but the first material looks like the building.
yeah, we need to do an inventory is what needs to happen. And if we've got a disconnect where, Federal is dealing with Northport and Viking and someone's contacting Mert, we've got too many pieces not connecting. So I'm not saying it's very well, but I hope you fix it in a minute, but, so Steve, maybe, a discussion, you and I and Pete, to try to connect the dots, and if you need to contact Shay to find out, I don't know why Shay would be following up on this, so we're really getting too many players in here.
Yeah, she would not be. I was only saying that we had this discussion a couple meetings ago. So I don't know. That's why I got to find out who signed off on the first delivery. I didn't know there were two deliveries, so this is new to me. I was assuming the Viking delivery was the one who did the steel. I was just listening to Mert, but it sounds like there's been two separate deliveries, and I'm unaware of both of them.
Yeah, and probably the fastest way to deal with this, Steve, would be for you to contact Rod at Northport and say, what is your arrangement with Viking? Where are we with, who's tracking the delivery? And we need to be contacted, or you need to be contacted, or Pete needs to be contacted to know that they're making a delivery and be on hand to see what's going on. So just,
Yep, I'll try to close it
yeah.
up.
Thank you. Thank you for all you're doing, and Mert, thank you so much for bringing it up. So, do we have anything else on these three projects? How come we got involved in this? This is so complex.
Is that a question on the screen?
Is there a question on the screen? I can't read the name from here, Carrie. How and, oops. How and when is the radiant flooring being installed? Is it planned to be integrated in the single concrete slab flooring, or are there two separate pours? Pete, you know the answer to that, right?
I believe it's all planned to be integrated into a single slab.
That's my understanding too. That was the plan.
Yep.
And we could double check that with the architect, Mark. But yeah, that was the plan. And let's see, anybody else, questions or comments? We will have a question and comment period, coming up again, so, well, actually, it's next on the agenda, so, oh no, it's a little bit later, so. You'll have an opportunity again if you out in the audience have other questions or comments. Okay, moving on to authorize the town manager to put out a notice and hire a temporary facilities manager for a new health center. we are closing in on the time when Pete will no longer be the owner, representative. And we still may have issues either with Midmark or with plumbers that are not under, or that are, for that matter, under contract with Ledgewood. But we need to, Ledgewood, they're coming, but they haven't come yet. We need to be able to have somebody tracking what's going on with the health center in terms of the facility, somebody who knows a bit about all the different pieces. So we have a generator that's had difficulties, heating system that's had some difficulties. Once we sign off on the punch list, I believe that's the end of Ledgewood being responsible for items. Is that correct?
Other than warranty.
Other than warranties. So, let's open this up for discussion, and before we do that, I just ask Janet if she wants to add any comment about, I know you've been having to go over there as well as Pete to just sort of respond to emergency questions and problems.
Yeah, I mean, we're just not, I'm not used to a new building, all the nuances that come with it, and it's breaking in but some of the problems do irritate the providers, and it's trying to, like the alarm for the generator, Owen wants to shut it off or disconnect it, and I said, I don't think you can't disconnect it, it's on there for a reason. I mean, it's just a lot of little things like that, they're gonna have to get used to some things also, but it's breaking in a new building.
Yeah.
And
And
I
I'm
don't
just
have
worried
time,
about,
I don't have the knowledge.
yeah,
Is that a job you would apply for? Was it a paid position?
I think I probably would.
Yeah, then you'd be the natural, to me, it seemed like that would be the natural
yeah.
evolution.
I hope Pete would apply for it, but it would be open to, it would go out on a call for applications, right, or something like that. And then
Whatever.
it would go through
Year.
the select board. We would have to make a recommendation today. Then the select board would have to decide whether they want to go forward with that
And decide where the money comes from.
and decide where the money comes from. There is, as an ex-select board member, I know that there is some money in the budget, both in the health center budget and in the a town budget, limited amount of money. But I'm talking about, and we don't know how long the problems will go on, but at least initially, we're talking about a temporary position to make sure in this transition from Ledgewood and a contractor and having no one in that role, making sure we can bird dog and problem solve issues that come up. And we don't have it just falling on Janet to deal with, or people under Janet that don't know how to do these things. We'd have to hire instead of having someone who's a facilities manager do most of the work themselves, or at least find the right people.
And how long would
That's
this
excellent.
last? Have to say,
I think it would be up to the select board to say we're going to make the temporary position for 6 months, or we'll make it for,
The fiscal year to
Yeah.
July
Year.
1,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
But I think we might make that recommendation.
yeah,
If we do this, say, hire a facility manager till July 1,
so July 1,
2026.
2026, that makes a lot of sense to me. And,
Does to me too.
but, it's up to the select board, we'd be recommending and then turning it over to them. But I
I make a motion that we recommend the town hiring a facility manager for till July 1, 2026 to manage the Owlsville Health Center. Should we throw in Up Island as well?
we could, yeah,
Just to do it both?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Up Island safety building.
I think that's a great idea.
That might not be built.
Being built, yeah.
I like, that makes sense, but the only real backlash that I've heard when this first got going was, combining all this. It just seems to me, let's focus on this one right now
Okay.
health center. And then we can do this again
Yeah.
when we need it and if we need it, or I'm sure we will, but we're talking a year out or so, I would think. So
Yeah.
I would suggest have it just for this one now and keep it clean and then we can do it again.
Makes sense. So my motion just for would be just for the, Osborne Health Center.
We have a second?
Second,
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor, Steve,
aye.
Gareth,
Aye.
Linda, aye, Pete,
Aye.
Lauren, aye,
Aye.
and Bill, aye. Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you. All right. Public comment and questions. Are there any other comments or questions from the audience, either in Zoom land or from Mert and Janet? Anything else, or from a member of the committee? Okay, great. So a motion to adjourn.
So move.
And second, all in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you all. Thank you from people in Zoom land and Steve
Thank you,
in
Steve.
Camden.
Thank you all.
Safe travels.
Safe travels, yeah.
Thank you.
all.